In the name of Allah, the most benevolent, the most merciful. Ya Ali, Madad.
Welcome to our channel. We expose lies and false teaching of un-Ismailis.
Welcome to the last episode of the series exposing Al-Ghazali's false beliefs.
In this episode, we will show you in his own words, how without the office of imamate, Islamic laws cannot be exercised and enforced.
From the 9th chapter of his book written against Ismailis, he says about imamate.
It is agreed upon by us, and by the Batinites, and by all the Muslims.
He believe his caliph as his imam, and oppose Fatimid imam. His line of Abbasid caliph has already been ended. History has proven Al-Ghazali as wrong.
In previous episodes, Al-Ghazali believed the office of imamate is noble, sacred, and prophetic. He warns those who hesitate to believe in imamate in chapter 9 as follows.
This is a serious attack on the orders of the Sharia,
and an explicit declaration of its voidation and negation.
And it would call for the clear declaration of the invalidity of all administrative posts,
and the unsoundness of the judging of qadis,
and the ruin of God's right and prescriptions,
and the invalidation of blood and wombs and property, and the pronouncement of the invalidity of marriages issuing from qadis in all the regions of the earth,
and the remaining of the rights of God's Most High in the custody of creatures.
For all such things would be legal only if their fulfillment issued from qadis duly appointed by the imam, which would be impossible if there were no imamate.
Therefore, Imam is the only one who can enforce the Sharia, validates rights of Allah, authenticate justice, marriages, and inheritance. Let's see how without the Imam of Al-Ghazali, these things are valid.
Every Friday afternoon, anti-Ismailis are also supposed to perform Friday prayers. These prayers were supposed to contain name of the Caliph Imam. Since their false imamate no longer exists, they perform their prayer without it.
They are also not sure if their Friday prayers are valid or not. Instead of 2 rakat of Friday prayers, they perform 2 additional precautionary rakats. They think if their Friday prayers are not valid, the total 4 rakats would be counted towards their Zohar prayers.
If the Caliph was not required for the prayers, how he intervened in the affairs of right of Allah and corrupted the prayers? If the Caliph is required, Caliph of Al-Ghazali was not the true Imam. Caliphate has to be continued till the day of judgment. It is only the progeny of the Prophet who are the true Imam and validate the prayers.
According to un-Ismailis, and with references to narration 4518 in Bukhari, the pilgrimage was banned by the Caliph of the time. It was believed that he had right to alter the orders of the Prophet.
We believe anti-Ismailis would not call their caliph as wrong. We only conclude that Al-Ghazali believed that Imam has the right over the rights of Allah.
It was also the right of the caliph to appoint the leader of the Hajj.
Nowadays, the followers of Al-Ghazali considers the prayers behind a leader of Hajj as invalid, due to their sectarian differences.
Before the Saudi government in Arabia, there used to be 4 different leaders during the Hajj, representing 4 Sunni sects. If one of the sect is considered right, other 3 becomes majority and do not follow them. If they do not consider them wrong, then what else stopping them from switching?
According to anti-Ismaili sources, the caliph was responsible to collect zakat, and also had a right to collect zakat by force.
Later, the so-called scholars who claimed to be the heirs of the Prophet developed various methods by which they can avoid zakat, including by exchanging their wealth with their wives to avoid it.
There are fatwas about non-applicability of zakat on mansions, expensive cars, and diamonds in order to promote the concept of helping poor in Islam.
On one hand, banking business is considered forbidden by them, and on the other hand the same forbidden banks collects zakat for them. Similarly, if the judges were not appointed by the caliph, their decision is not binding upon the public. Al-Ghazali is trying to give protection to the caliph rule. All fatwas related to the bloodshed of Ismailis were not Islamic, and were an act of paganism.
Anti-Ismailis have many times issued fatwas for calling Ismailis as illegitimate and their marriages as void. According to them, marriages are valid if conducted under the authority of Caliph Imam.
After the abolition of their false imamat, all marriages in his cult are impossible to prove as correct, according to their own beliefs. This will also requires them to accept their version of Islam was wrong. They cannot prove what they believe is from the Prophet, and they have been following it for centuries.
One of the Caliph Imam of Al-Ghazali, named Muntasir, killed his father Imam Mutawakkil, and became Imam. Al-Ghazali allowed for his Imam to be killed by next Imam.
Imamate is the fundamental part of Islam. False imamate of Al-Ghazali was abolished, exposing him and his followers as wrong. To summarize, in order to believe the teachings of Al-Ghazali as correct, one has to accept Abbasid imamate, which extinguished. Whoever followed them was on the wrong path, and whoever is following them is on the wrong path as well.
To be imamate as right, it has to be present for guidance.
Continuity and guidance is the glory of imamat. Following the progeny of the Prophet is following Islam in its right manner.
Thanks to Allah for His guidance through the progeny of the Holy Prophet.
This series is concluded. Thanks for watching. Keep in touch for other series and discussions.
Salwad, please.